Thousands of Indians fled their homes in the disputed region of Kashmir on Tuesday as Indian and Pakistani troops exchanged gunfire again, amid a rising death toll. The mostly Muslim Himalayan region of Kashmir is claimed by both India and Pakistan and has been a major focus of tension in South Asia. The nuclear-armed neighbors have fought 2 wars over the territory, and clashes break out regularly along their de facto border, the so-called line of control. About 7,000 villagers living around the village of Arnia area in Kashmir gathered in schools after 5 Indian civilians were killed and dozens injured in shelling by Pakistani forces close to the border on Monday.
वालों ने बताया था कि आज शाम को कुछ फायर शेयर हो सकता है, अब अपना बचाव थोड़ा कर लो। फिर भी हम बॉर्डर वालों ने सोचा भी अपने अपने घरों में रहेंगे तो कोई बात नहीं, छोटा फायर होगा। तो बाद में जब शाम को 6, साढ़े 6, 7 बजे के अंदर देखो तो मोटा फायर होने लगा, तो जनता जितनी भी है वो डर के मारे भाग आई। जो भी ट्रैक्टर ट्रैली मेट्रो उधर खड़ी थी तो उसमें बैठ के संभाला गया।
The ongoing violence is one of the worst violations of a 2003 ceasefire between India and Pakistan, with both sides accusing the other of provoking the incidents. Pakistani police officer Mohammed Anwar said Indian mortar shells slammed into houses and fields, killing 1 civilian and injuring 6 others.
Well, joining me on the line to discuss the situation in Kashmir is Lord Nazir Ahmed. Welcome to the programme, Lord Ahmed. Many Kashmiris are blaming Pakistan for the breakdown in the ceasefire. Is that right?
No, absolutely wrong. In fact, it's the Indians who have been shelling the Pakistan side, Azad Kashmir, and also in the other areas of Pakistan on the border as well. In Sialkot sector, for instance, 8 people so far have been killed. You have to remember, when there was general elections early this year, there was tension between India and Pakistan, and particularly in Kashmir. And that's because BJP wants to show that they are tough on Pakistan and they can bully Pakistan into another position. And now there are 2 state elections in Maharashtra and Haryana, and on the 15th of October. And in both of these areas, BJP's position is not very strong. In Haryana, it may actually win the elections. In Maharashtra, it is not. And Shiv Sena, one of its extreme Hindu political organizations, a coalition with the BJP, is also strong in there. And so they want to show their voters and supporters that they can be tough on Pakistan. And that's where the real trouble starts, because they start shelling and killing Pakistanis and Kashmiris.
So are you really saying that this is that these clashes are a kind of electioneering by shellfire?
I am absolutely saying this with evidence that if you go back to the elections, earlier on this year, when BJP won elections, just a few weeks before elections, tensions grew. And I went to the line of control where the shelling was going on in the Azad Kashmir, Pakistan side. I saw the villages. I spoke with the people who were affected. I have seen evidence already where people's houses have been shelled, fired, and also fired upon, and people who've been injured. And of course, if you look at Pakistani channels, you will see evidence of some of even a child that was killed and a woman this morning. So it is nothing new, yesterday rather.
Okay. We're hearing about thousands of displaced people. Do either country have the capability to deal with these refugees?
Yes, I think in the past, both in Azad Kashmir and on the Indian-occupied Kashmir, both sides, they've seen this tension grow before, whether it is elections inside India or elections by force in Indian-occupied Kashmir. Tensions have grown in the past. They've dealt with the refugee situation. I'm sure that they will be able to do. But why should they? Why should the Kashmiris be made refugees on each occasion when there's politics going on in India? Why should people have to suffer just because a extreme Hindu fundamentalist organization, whether it is RSS, Shiv Sena, Bajrang Dal, who are partners of BJP, to be allowed to kill innocent people on the line of control or international border near Sialkot. Why should that happen? And sadly, because it is a vote winner, whoever shows. In fact, Congress, you see, is seen as much weaker on Pakistan, and that's why they lost elections. And anybody who can show that they can kill more Pakistanis, they would get the vote. Sadly, and that's why you've seen BJP, very much a nationalist, Hindu fundamentalist party, getting the vote.
Has Modi said anything about these conflicts?
Modi hasn't, but sadly, because Pakistan also has a weak Prime Minister, Nawaz Sharif, because of it is alleged that he has business interests, and also because he has been bending over backwards to make friends with Modi. Modi has withdrawn the foreign secretary's meeting, which was scheduled, and also a couple of times they'd agreed to have the monitors from both sides to speak to each other to reduce tension. In fact, I know that the Kashmiri leadership in Muzaffarabad have approached the UN border observers to go and see the situation and to see if they can put pressure at the UN and Security Council to reduce tension.
Lord Ahmed, one last question: is this going to get worse before it gets better, or will the electoral timetable bring this to a close?
I think this will continue until 15th. I don't think that there's anybody who would be able to reduce this tension before the 15th, and straight after 15th you will see silence of guns. Sadly, I've seen it before. I've been monitoring the situation for many years now, for nearly 2 decades, and I know how some of these Hindu fundamentalist political parties, you've got to remember the RSS is the same organization that killed Gandhiji and those who were responsible for demolishing Babri Masjid and those who were responsible for killing Muslims in Gujarat. We know it all, and we've seen it before.
OK, Lord Ahmed, thanks very much for bringing us up to date with your views about the conflict in Kashmir. Well, here's some of the news that's doing the rounds on Twitter. This morning, clashes have erupted at the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Alan Fisher tweets that it was a row over access as a right-wing Jewish group celebrated a religious holiday and were given access to the compound. Here in the UK, the Campaign Against the Arms Trade tweeted, "We're taking legal action over the UK's failure to stop arming Israel. Please email your MP." The group is pursuing an application for a judicial review of the challenge to the Department of Business, Innovation and Skills decision to suspend or not to suspend and revoke 12 existing licences for the export of arms and components to Israel. In Tunisia, and ahead of an election next month, James Schneider tweets that 3 ministers linked to the deposed dictator Ben Ali are seeking the Tunisia presidency. Some Tunisians fear a return to pre-revolutionary days, and some commentators have compared Tunisian events to those in Egypt. Closer to home, Arif Durrani tweets, striking front cover from The Sun today, calling for a united front against IS extremism. The front cover features a woman wearing a Union Jack hijab. The Sun tweeted it was supporting the women of Making a Stand, with Inspire's Sarah Khan explaining the initiative in the paper's pages. But others have objected to the newspaper using the hijab as a symbol and pointed to the paper's promotion of Islamophobia. Ramona Ali tweeted, "Takes creeping Sharia to a whole new level. The Sun tries to go from divide to unite." And that rounds up this part of the programme. Join us after the break when we'll be looking at counter-terrorism measures that have been enacted in the UK. That's after the break.